Oh, hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome in on a Tuesday. Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. It's in association with our good friends at Yellowhammer News. It's Longshore and McKnight, and man, it is Iron Bowl week. It is rivalry week, and I know, Barry, we're excited about that. But, man, I stayed up and watched basketball from Hawaii last night, and boy, was I impressed.
Yes, I got a chance to watch the end of the Auburn Iowa State game. Of course, I had to call my own game on ESPN Plus last night in Troy, where Troy beat Texas San Antonio by 14, 86-72. Before that game, I had a chance to watch. This is out in Maui at the Lahaina Civic Center. It's really cool. Great teams. And about a 2,500 seat arena, and it's packed, people hanging all over each other. I saw overtime between Memphis and two-time defending champion UConn, and Memphis ends up pulling it out in OT. And then afterwards, I got to see kind of the very, very end of the highlights of Auburn and Iowa State. I wasn't going to. I had been tracking that score, well, all of the scores through our telecast. And Auburn was down 18. And I thought, well, that's not going to happen. But it did. A late putback by Janai Broome with about a second to go. Auburn came back from 18 down, and the number 4 Tigers beat number 5 Iowa State 83-81. John, it is the 4th time in the AP poll era that a team has started out, 4th time ever, that a team has started out 5-0 with 2 top 5 wins.
Yeah, I was about to say Auburn's first time ever beating 2 top 5 teams in like a week. Beat Houston about a week or so ago.
First time they've ever had 2 top 5 non-conference wins in the single season, and it's still November. So it was a huge win. Lots of energy in that one. And they got to do it again tonight.
Oh, yeah. No rest. I mean, you're out there on the islands, but you got to be ready to go to work. And I got to tell you, Barry, certainly this team ought to be ranked number 1 in the next poll when it comes out. Granted, I know it's November, early December, but certainly a huge accomplishment. You mentioned 18 down. Yeah, didn't look like much was going on. Iowa State was defending Auburn extremely well, but they found something at halftime, made some adjustments. I know a football team that might ought to figure out how to do that as well. And came out and just ablazing. And Iowa State didn't know what hit them. And Auburn finally got the lead, the tip in late. But this team, the way they play team basketball, the way they enjoy being on the floor with one another, the way they enjoy who the 5 are on the floor and the rest of the team that's on the bench. There's so much rotation. They're so deep. Yeah. You can see there's a lot of chemistry with this basketball team. They enjoy playing with one another. That's
they enjoyed being on. They enjoyed being on the plane together.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, Barry, brothers fight all the time. You know, I know you've got brothers. Yeah. I've got a brother. He used to beat me up all the time growing up. So, I mean, I get it. I mean, you know, we all love each other, but there's times that brothers kind of go at it, and there is a brotherhood on a team, so to speak. So they've gotten that out of the way, but I was impressed. I don't, you know, they're going to be hard to beat throughout the year. They're not going to win every game, obviously, but this team's going to be a tough out. The remainder of the basketball season. And I was really impressed with what I saw out of Auburn last night.
So was I. Very well coached, very tough-minded. You're right. They're down 18, and I don't think they ever blinked, and they got a huge win yesterday. So now Auburn's 5-0, number 4 in the country. They play number 12, North Carolina, tonight. Beat North Carolina in the 2019 tournament on the way to the Final Four. Was that 5 years ago?
Was it really?
Wow.
Golly, it sure was.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the thing is, here's your viewing for tonight. For those of you Longshore and McKnight students who want a little extra credit. And the good news is, I'm here for the good news. The good news is, Alabama fans, tonight at 7 o'clock in Las Vegas, number 9, Alabama plays number 6, Houston, a team that Auburn has already beaten and a team that Troy plays in about 2 weeks. That's at 7 o'clock tonight on TBS. But here's the good news. Bama fans, also at 7 tonight is the college football playoff selection. You don't have to, there's no anxiety.
No.
You ain't got to worry about it. You ain't got to screen or do televisions or flip back and forth in the commercials. You can just focus on Alabama basketball tonight and ain't got a thing to worry about in the college football playoff selection.
And this business that Heather Dinich is throwing at you that you got a 32% chance to make the playoff, forget it. I mean, you kidding me? That team's not even playoff worthy. They're not playing well enough to be even considered to be a playoff team. And if you're really desperate, Barry, you can watch Toledo at Akron or Kent State at Buffalo tonight as well.
Oh.
If you're just really jonesing for some college football, those games are on ESPN something, ESPN2, ESPNU, something like that.
You know how those are, yeah.
Yeah, you'll find them somewhere.
Yeah.
But, some great basketball tonight. And good morning to everybody. Thank you. Hello. We appreciate that on the chat line. Hit the like and the subscribe button. We really appreciate that. And Barry, speaking of appreciation, we want to thank everybody that has viewed some of our video clips on Facebook. The one yesterday got, at this point, 220,000 views. So we are just over the moon on that one. Really appreciate that, and appreciate everybody making their comments, around 500 comments on it as well. And we really appreciate that. And, of course, our good friends at Yellowhammer News. You can check it out at yellowhammernews.com. Check them out on their Facebook page, Instagram, X, and all those good social media platforms. And, of course, you can check us out here each and every day on YouTube and on Spotify. So really appreciate that, and spread the word and get it out there so we can bring you more of that good stuff.
Now, I haven't had a chance to look at it on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook in a little bit. I think it's the clip where John says something along the lines of Alabama's performance was absolutely pathetic. It was one of the worst performances he's seen from an Alabama football team in years. So the whatever, all the comments, 500 comments or whatever, were all of them like, John, you're exactly right. John, I couldn't agree more. John, you nailed it. John, you hit it right on the head. John, you are so correct. All the way down through there.
Well, there were some comments about what you said about Alabama only scored 3 points, and which is a fact. There's no doubt they only scored 3. There weren't many negatives in terms of who are these bozos? What do these guys know? There were a few of those, as you always, you're always going to have.
We want a few of those. Yeah, we want some of that.
But most of them were agreeable. They certainly got it. And we appreciate the comments. We appreciate the views, and share it and send it out and let everybody else take a look at it as well. I believe we're going to have a few more comments today that might pick up some views and comments as well. And it might just start with this one. We talked about Auburn's big win last night. They beat Houston about a week ago. 2 top 5 teams Auburn's defeated already. Their football team got a huge win Saturday night. First conference win, at night. Jordan-Hare, great atmosphere, whatever you want to say. Things are kind of rolling along. Recruiting seems to be going really well. All of their commitments seem to be solid. They've even got some players on their team. They're feeling so good right now, Barry. They're talking smack about their next opponent, talking smack about particular players. So, this Auburn team's feeling pretty good about themselves. I would say the program is too. And you got Houston taking on Alabama tonight, that Houston team that Auburn beat a couple of weeks ago. If Bama goes down tonight in Las Vegas in basketball, and then Auburn comes to Tuscaloosa Saturday night, wins the football game, not a good week for the Crimson Tide athletically. But, Barry, I think there's more to it than that. I think
there's never enough. There's always something else.
Yeah.
Barry, such and such and so-and-so, they stink, such and such and so-and-so, pathetic. But that's not all. There's always, he always has a little something left in the tank,
Yeah.
It's like whenever two boxers are fighting and they get into a clinch and the referee's trying to separate them and he finally separates them and one of the boxers, poof, right in the back of the head is there's always a little something extra here. What do you got?
Cheap shot.
Spice it up here, John.
Didn't Clubber Lang do that, or was it Drakov or whatever that guy, that Russian fighter? One of them.
Drago,
Drago, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of them tried to give Rocky a cheap shot. But Barry, I think the next 3 weeks are going to be extremely important for Kalen DeBoer. And I think Bama fan needs to think about this. Just kind of digest it, lay it out on the table, kind of see what you think about it. But I think the next 3 weeks are really, really important. And it starts Saturday afternoon in Tuscaloosa. This is a game that I think either one of these teams can win. I think the point spread's a little large. I think Auburn certainly can win it. I think Alabama can win it. But I don't think there's any clear-cut runaway, this game's going to be a blowout, and there's no doubt about it who's going to win. I don't believe that for a minute. So it starts with the Iron Bowl. And then soon after that, signing day rolls around. And Kalen DeBoer not only needs to win the Iron Bowl, but he needs to keep this class together that's rated, one of the top 3 in America. Needs to keep that together. He doesn't need these guys jumping ship. And then you got the transfer window coming up right after that. And as I said yesterday, if I'm some particular players on that team, I got to be thinking about the transfer portal. If I'm a running back, I don't touch the ball. If I'm another wide receiver other than Ryan Williams, nobody's throwing it to me. So he's got to make sure he re-recruits this team and keeps them together. Also, he's got to worry about opt-outs. I mean, they're not going to the college football playoff. Well, if they go bowl game, win or lose Saturday, it's going to be some crappy bowl game that nobody cares about. So he's got to deal with opt-outs.
And
maybe the most important, Barry,
okay,
he's got to keep his coaching staff together. Now, some people might say, you don't need to keep them together. And I don't think he will. I think there'll be some changes on his staff. Will it be the offensive and or the defensive coordinator? Could be. I'm not real sure he's thrilled with Nick Sheridan. I mean, obviously he wanted somebody else from the get-go that kind of helped him orchestrate and build that offense in Washington. But, Barry, those are 5 things that are coming up within the next 2 to 3 weeks that could reshape Alabama football.
And right-click, save. There you go. Social media right there. 500 more comments. I can feel it. Can you think about, can you even wrap your head around that? Number one, first of all, has anybody heard from Bob from Pike Road? Love to hear from him. People say, he didn't show up yesterday on the show because Alabama lost. No, he's got a life. He's got other interests and stuff like that. I would love to know his thoughts about the game for sure, but about what John just said, because those are issues for everybody. But lately, honestly, they haven't been issues for Alabama. And there have been a lot of Alabama fans who are like, they're never going to be an issue for us. Well, they are. You're human. It happens. Saban's no longer coaching there. What needs to happen? What would be the best case scenario? Blowout win over Auburn. Big win tonight over Houston, dominating. It's a 10 days until National Signing Day. Clean up there, number 2 class, number 3 class, something like that. Finish strong. The one thing that I'm not sure what would be a great accomplishment that John's talking about is the coaching staff. Do they need everybody back? I mean, what do you wish for there, Bama fans? You say, golly, I hope we keep everybody. We need stability. I think they've done a good job. It's been a transitional period, and I think they deserve a chance. Or fire them all. Totally new staff. What do you wish for there? But I do agree this is a significant time. Look, DeBoer's not in trouble, anything like that. I know the 2 takeaways I had from the weekly press conferences from both schools yesterday in the Iron Bowl. Number 1, Cam Coleman and DeMarcus Riddick, the 2 freshmen, they ain't scared. Now, I wouldn't have said some of the things that they say. They need to go back and
But,
look at some.
but
The
Barry,
media relations staff needs to coach them up. Look, kids, this is a film of Bear Bryant before the Iron Bowl or before the USC game or the Notre Dame. Kids, this is Pat Dye. This is them talking about their opponent the week of the Iron Bowl. Okay? These are what you say. These are the cliches you use. Live it, know it, learn it. Not so much.
I'm with you, Barry. I don't like the smack talk before the game either. Just let your talking be done on the field. But you know as well as I do, if Auburn wins that game after these two guys or others have run their mouths, that's just going to add fuel to the fire.
Well,
the fans are going to love it, and the players are going to love it. So yeah, they're rolling the dice a little bit there. They've got to be able to catch those checks on Saturday afternoon. But, it adds a little more excitement to the game.
Yeah.
But I just think the next 2 to 3 weeks, Barry, for Alabama football, and then tonight, the basketball game's pretty big.
Right.
They need to win that one, too, because they've already lost once already at Purdue. But I think the next 3 weeks for this football program, everybody thought they'd make the playoff. Not going to happen. What about the recruiting class? Got to keep it together. What about this team? You got to keep it together. Coaching staff, got to keep it together. A lot happening for Kalen DeBoer in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
And right now, Auburn fans are waking up this morning. I don't know how many strands of toilet paper are in the trees after the win, but they're thinking, all right, look at us. Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Woo. War Eagle, about to get a bomb. Is the rank and file tone of thought from Alabama fan reflected in our River Region Straw chat line? Number one, our buddy Kirk, he's conducting his own talk show over there.
Kirk. Yeah,
Kirk is in there. He must have already chatted about 14 times. Why do you feel that way, Smitty? What's the deal here? Did he have his? Kirk is running his own talk show. I love it. But
Kirk.
you get Allison, your niece.
She's back
Allison
today?
Longstone. She says,
nice.
We got a lot of cleaning up to do with the little elephant emoji at the very end. She's a longshore, of course.
She's a smart girl.
Absolutely. No, is she reflective of everybody? We got a lot of cleaning up to do. Is Brian Cannon, is he reflective of the Crimson Nation at 7:08 this morning? Brian Cannon says, I would rather go on the road in a meaningless bowl game and get wiped off the field versus Indiana than get beat in the first round by Boise. What?
I don't know about that.
I don't either. John used to give me crud all the time for the Braves losing in the playoffs, and my thing, well, at least they get there every year. There's honor in that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, at least get to the playoffs, Brian, and get beaten by Boise State. Heck, Alabama's been beaten by those kind of teams before.
Oh, but boy, no kidding.
You're talking about you'd rather, not that you really care, honestly, you'd rather see Alabama play, Colorado in the Tax Act Texas Bowl in Houston on December 28th at 8 o'clock at night than beat in the college football playoff by Boise State?
I don't know about that. What about our man Tobias at 7:13 this morning? Yeah, Tobias, I hear you working on that one as well. Yeah, that's a good one. Says John DeBoer's pitch to the backs and receivers will be Milroe is leaving, and we will have a real quarterback who'll throw to other receivers and hand the ball to the backs. Yeah, Tobias, I'm with you, man. That would be my pitch.
But I
think Milroe's got to move on.
Is he?
Got to move on. Or if he comes back, they've got to let Milroe know it's a competition. You are not going to just come back and just walk into that starting position again, which is an easy way of saying we're looking for somebody else.
Are we going lip sync in Funky Town with the lyric, gotta move on?
Gotta move on.
Yeah. Is he leaving? A lot of people are saying that. Should he leave? There are some people, and we asked Luke and Bill about this yesterday, there are some people who have him rated as one of the top 5 draft eligible. He's not a senior. Well, he's a senior academically. Draft eligible quarterbacks in the NFL. It's not a great year for quarterbacks to be drafted in the NFL. Hear me out here. I know we're a little bit late for a break, But if I'm Jalen Milroe and I'm getting honest appraisals from the scouts and from the talent personnel, this year's quarterback class in the NFL, last year's was great. Jalen Daniels and Caleb Williams and Drake May and all those guys. This year's class a little thin, John.
Yep.
So is their advice to him, hey, if you go here, you will be one of the top 5 quarterbacks drafted. Next year, if you wait, you'll be lucky to be one of the top 10 quarterbacks. So get your money now instead of taking your chance in a much more loaded class in 2026.
Yeah. I heard one of the draft experts, so-called experts, say he was going to be the number 1 quarterback taken about 6 weeks ago, something like that, 2 months ago. No, I said it last year. Jalen Milroe is not a quarterback. He is a great athlete, but he's not a quarterback. And why they didn't put Ty Simpson in the game after that 3rd interception Saturday night, I don't know.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Hines Ward, I think he made the Hall of Fame. He was a quarterback at Georgia, great career as a wide receiver. Randall Cobb, quarterback at Kentucky, wide receiver for the Packers. Wide receiver, Jalen.
Might be. Yeah, could be.
Slot receiver. Hey, do you feel it? Yes.
At the bottom of this hour, Barry, Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com will join us, talk about Auburn's big win last night out in Maui, and, of course, looking ahead to the Iron Bowl. Travis Ryer, Talking Tide, Ryer on YouTube, will join us at the top of the next hour. I know we got a lot on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel we're going to get to today.
Yep.
Certainly love your comments as well at the River Region Straw chat line. You can email us, Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com via our Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry email inbox. So we got a lot going on here today on the program, and we want you to be a part of it. Let us know what you're thinking.
Proud to be in conjunction with Yellowhammer News. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight presented by Bud Light.
Shopping for a budget-friendly, reliable used car, or maybe a stunning new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram? Well, in Prattville, it's always a process that starts with the team of professionals from Stiver CDJR. Thanks to years of experience helping others in the local community enjoy premium service, low prices, and access to a wealth of amazing new and used cars, it's safe to say that Stiver's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is the name to beat in Prattville. But hey, just don't take my word for it. Experience the Stiver's difference for yourself. Prices that will not be beat, a huge inventory, and knowledgeable, helpful sales associates. See why so many happy car and truck buyers shop at Stiver's CDJR, where Price sells cars and trucks on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville.
Welcome to the holidays. They're officially here. Time for tradition, family gatherings, meals, and the annual scramble of searching for those last-minute gifts. Speaking of gifts, this season Budweiser's got your back. Head to the store right now and look for our Thanksgiving week specials. Why go all over town looking for that perfect gift when Budweiser takes care of everyone in one convenient ice-cold package? When you stock up on Budweiser with our Thanksgiving week specials, you'll have plenty to share with your friends and family. They'll all appreciate that Budweiser's brewed the hard way and has been for 140 years. We use the finest barley, malt, and hops grown in Idaho and Germany. We don't take any shortcuts when we're brewing. That's our tradition. So make the most of your holidays. Stop by your local store now for our Thanksgiving week specials. Grab enough Budweiser for yourself, your friends, and your family. It's a new holiday tradition everyone can enjoy together. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Why hands at hand? Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air rallies for you. No matter the problem, Dixie will tackle it. Their licensed and trusted electricians, plumbers, air and garage door technicians are ready to win for you. From toilets to garbage disposals, circuit breakers to HVAC systems, Dixie never fumbles. Don't throw away your hard-earned money on second-string contracting companies. Score big with Dixie. After all, they are your biggest fan. Visit calldixie.com or dial them up locally at 262-2946.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
All right, 25 minutes past the hour on this Tuesday. Longshore and McKnight presented by Bud Light. We're going to check in with Brian Matthews in about 5 or 10 minutes from now. But Barry, man, the River Region Straw chat line is very active today. Transfers are something that I think are going to be real interesting. And we talked about it yesterday with Luganville. I mean, you're going to see teams looking for players leaving all over the country. I don't think there's a team out there, Barry, that is immune from the transfer window not affecting them in some way.
And there are teams that are going to have to deal with that in their bowl games. The very first bowl game of the year, by the way, that's when our Longshore and McKnight Bowl Prediction Contest entry window closes, will be December the 14th. That is less than 3 weeks away. You've got, and it's in Montgomery, the Salute to Veterans Bowl at the at Crampton Bowl. You get to some of the games featuring Power 5 conferences, you know, with the tie-ins. The SEC, for instance, just to take this, the SEC has a tie-in with the Gator Bowl against the ACC, which is something along the lines, maybe Alabama, maybe Texas A&M in the Gator Bowl against, let's see, from the ACC, maybe a Pitt. So you're looking at Alabama versus Pitt or Texas A&M versus Syracuse. You think, and the game is going to be broadcast on ESPN, do you think ESPN can count on the full complement of star players to help drive interest and viewership? Anybody out there? What? How many opt-outs do you think from two talented teams that have great NIL? Is NIL a inducement to stay and play? I honestly don't know. Those games, the SEC tie-in games, the Vegas Bowl, the Texas Bowl, the Gator Bowl, the Music City Bowl, can the SEC count on? Can the networks count on those schools? I mean, to bring their full array of talent? Oof.
No, you can't expect that.
No.
And I think that's, where the bowl system is going to suffer to some degree. I mean, the 12-team playoff, that's what it's all about. It's going to soon expand to either 14 or 16 teams. There's money to be made. They don't want to leave it on the table. So how does that affect the Camping World Bowl, or what'd you call it? The Rely Quest Bowl?
The Rely Quest Taxed Act or something like that.
I didn't even know that was a bowl game. So yeah, those games are going to suffer, particularly when the star players aren't there.
Yeah.
To me, Barry, it's like watching the NFL when they had the scab players. Remember that? I think it's happened a couple of times in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to watch the scab players in the NFL.
Come watch the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
These aren't the Redskins. I've never even heard of that guy. This guy was a waiter in Georgetown last week. Come on.
Didn't the Falcons have a kicker that was a bartender years ago?
They did. Oh, his name was Marucci. Yeah. Tim Minetti. I get Tim. Maybe it's Tim Minetti, but I get him confused with the actor who played in Magnum P.I., who wasn't the black pilot. Larry Minetti.
That was Rick.
Oh, Tim Mazzetti. Tim Mazzetti was his name.
Give me a moment
and it'll work its way up. Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, the Falcons beat the Rams on Monday Night Football at Fulton County Stadium off of 5 Tim Mazzetti field goals. Beat them 15-13, I believe, on a Monday night.
You put something on A replacement game?
I was in like junior high. I don't know if I don't know if that was a replacement game or not. I think that was so far back. I think it was the real players, but it was a Monday
Mazzetti stuck. Mazzetti was one of the few guys that they signed as a replacement who, once the players got back, he actually played. I think I'm right on that,
because I can a scab game now that I think about it. Yeah. But yeah, he kicked 5 field goals on a Monday night, won the game for the Falcons. Yeah, I was a little phantom back then, Barry, and I was going, come on, let's go. I got to cover. I need some. Yeah. But how do we get off on the Tim Mazzetti in the NFL? But
we're talking about scab players and how in college football, I mean, NIL does change some things. There's a lot of guys who it's going to make sense financially for them to stay another year in college at $1.5 million than be in the NFL and be on the inactive list and just practicing for the league minimum or something like that. But by and large, these guys, you used this phrase yesterday in terms of Jalen Milroe and how he didn't exactly exert full effort on the pick six. Business decision.
It's
exactly the same mindset as that. Do I really need to maybe tear a hamstring or get clocked running after this guy who just intercepted my pass? Is that good for my future? Not good for the team's future, but for my future. Same thing with some of these opt-outs. Alabama's last game will be Saturday. If they play again, it'll be 3 weeks minimum. And during those 3 weeks, these guys are going to have a lot of voices whispering in their ear.
Yes, they
are. You don't want to do this. It takes a strong person to make and stick to the decision that I ain't quitting on my team. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to play. I'm not sure everybody's going to make that decision.
You know what? Alabama, it was Bryce Young and Will Anderson that played in the Sugar Bowl against Kansas State. A lot of people were really appreciative of that and their teammates as well. I'm just not sure we're going to have situations like that happen very often in the future. I really don't. I think, players are thinking about their NFL career and making some money. And unfortunately, playing for Old State U might not have the meaning that it did when we were growing up, and playing for your teammates. Not all. I'm not lumping what that one play into what college football has turned out to be, but I think you might see more plays like that in the future.
When we come back, checking in with Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com. It's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Enjoy all the food, drink, fun, and winning at Victoryland. An elevated entertainment value, the best overall casino experience, and the highest jackpot payouts makes Victoryland the place to be. Go to Victoryland.com to find out more about their incredible giveaways, daily promotions, and free play opportunities. 777 Casino, simulcast Thoroughbred, and Greyhound Racing are all within a short drive from anywhere in the Southeast. Victoryland, I-85, exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. At Victoryland, you can be a winner too.
The blowout at Marguerite's is on. Door busters. We got lab-grown 5-carat diamond bracelets, $16.50. Half-carat diamond stud earrings, lab-grown, $99. 1-carat diamonds, $4.99 in a 14-carat mounting. You got to be kidding me. Every single item in the store has a crazy whack-out price, and our inventory is better than ever. We're ready for Christmas, and you can lay away to Christmas Eve. Don't miss the blowout at Marguerite's. The early bird catches the diamond.
Hey, this is Barry McKnight from Longshore and McKnight, telling you about our friends at River Region Straw. You're not buying sticks or stems and pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River Region, full of color, that'll last all season long. They've got locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small. From a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load, River Region Straw also has seasoned firewood for the cold days and nights ahead. Pickup is available, and your order can be delivered if you like. They can even Spread your pine straw if that's what you want to have happen, for sure. Call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw and firewood needs at River Region Straw.
Hey, we're back at it here on this Tuesday. It is about 25 minutes to the top of the hour. Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Brian Matthews is going to join us here momentarily from auburnsports.com. Big night last night out in Hawaii, and, of course, a big game on Saturday as Auburn heads to Tuscaloosa.
Somebody just texted me this. Just spitballing here.
Spitballing, okay?
Jalen Milroe seems to have run his course at Alabama. Good times, bad times, represented his university well, got his Alabama degree, done everything he's supposed to do except win a natty. But I think he's going to the NFL while the getting's good. But if we're getting people like, and Kirk is running things over there on that chat room saying that, what's going to happen with him. Kirk says, I can't wait to see who Freeze gets in the transfer portal at quarterback. Auburn does need a quarterback. They'd like somebody with, some dynamic playmaking ability. Freeze has done a good job with running his RPO offense. And, the quarterback this year was okay. Nothing wrong with Peyton Thorne. Wasn't great. Wasn't a game changer. LSU Mark is asking, can Milroe transfer today before the Auburn game? And the answer is no, he cannot. Now, they may not play him.
Yep.
Like they did in the South Florida game last year. Yeah. Ty said, somebody on Brain Drain said Milroe would transfer to Auburn. Why would we want him?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Milroe to Auburn?
Didn't Auburn already have enough quarterbacks on the depth chart? As far as the NFL, Barry, I just do not see – there again, I said it last year. Jalen Milroe's not going to win you a national championship. I don't think Jalen Milroe's going to be a very productive NFL quarterback either. He's a great athlete. Can they find him somewhere else to play? Maybe so. He does have another year of eligibility, but he's already graduated. It's about time for him to move on. Does he transfer? I could see that. I don't know where. I don't know where he would fit in. I'm sure there's a lot of teams that would love to have Jalen Milroe be a part of what they're doing.
He's a Texas kid. There's nothing really there at any of the Power 5 schools in Texas, I wouldn't think. There was a story about a former Alabama quarterback who had won a lot of games and was no longer the guy at Alabama, and he elected to transfer to be tutored under the watchful eye of Lincoln Riley, and he ended up being a finalist for the Heisman Trophy and has now had a terrific NFL career as a quarterback with the Philadelphia Eagles. Could Milroe go to USC? Just spitballing.
Yeah, I mean, I could certainly see somebody picking him up. Now, do I foresee Jalen Milroe to end up having a career like Jalen Hurts? No, I don't. I just don't see the similarities there between those two players. Jalen Hurts, to me, Jalen Hurts was a quarterback. I never had a doubt when he was at Alabama or Oklahoma that the young man was not a quarterback. I've been saying this for 2 years. I don't think Jalen Milroe's a quarterback. He's a great athlete. I don't see him going there. But, yes, somebody could use him. There's no doubt about it. I'm sure there are coaches all over this country that would, fly into Tuscaloosa and personally take him back to wherever they are. I just don't think – there again, I just think he's done all he's going to be able to do at Alabama. I think it's time for him to move on. And I don't want to sound like, well, you don't seem very appreciative of what he – look, it's great what he's done the last 2 years. Congratulations. Thank you for your time and your service. But it's time to move on. When you get home from college and you still don't really want to get into the real world, and you're still living in the basement. Mom's washing your clothes and cooking all your meals. Dad walks down there one day and said, "Son, look, you got to move on.
Yeah.
I mean, we love you and all, but it's time for you to go out and do your own thing."
There was a great movie with Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson, and Terry Bradshaw was in that movie as McConaughey's dad. It's called Failure to Launch. Somebody needs to go in and say, every coach, every level has end of the year exit interviews with their players. Same thing with the strength and conditioning coaches. Look, this is where you are. This is what we see from you. This is what we think you need to work on as a player and as a person. Unfortunately, we don't see a future with you working on it here with us. As we often talk about when people bring up potential coaching changes, you got to fire this guy. You got to fire that guy. One of the first things John and I always bring up, okay, who are you going to hire?
Yeah.
Tobias says, is it me? Or will Dylan Lonergan be the guy next season? This is my absolute favorite Alabama conversation. Forget people trying to rationalize the 1944 Litkenhouse Brothers National Championship. What I always love is Bama fans conjecturing on backup quarterback.
Barry, when we
two scoops, big cherry on top, and those chocolate sprinkles, man, love it.
When we review predictions for over the next 12 months in the month of May, it's going to be interesting when we get to the Alabama section because several things that I predicted are kind of playing out. And we're going to give you a little snippet of that on our Iron Bowl preview show on CBS 8 and ABC 32 that we'll be taping later today. Because I've seen the script, and Lindsey Bonner is going to ask me about some of those predictions that I made, particularly about Alabama football and Jalen Milroe.
John's got the script. He's going, yeah, right about that. Right about that. Wait. You're going to ask me about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Here it is. Asking me about Milroe. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This looks good. Thank you.
I didn't hit them all as always. I kind of go out on a limb on a few, but we'll let you know when that will air so you can check out the Iron Bowl preview on CBS 8 and ABC 32. Of course, here locally, it'll be on ABC 32 at 2:30 on Saturday. Waiting Brian Matthews. I know he's going to join us here momentarily.
It's Thanksgiving week. Who knows?
Yeah.
He may be out in Maui. I can't, who knows? I know it.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Did I see, I guess Andy's out there.
Yeah. Andy and Jen, they both went out there. And
I saw a picture of him on the scores table looking at some
that's
flowery Hawaiian shirts or something that I guess they give all the coaches and players Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah.
He was looking at those and I thought, yeah, that looks like Andy. So I guess he's coming back for the Iron Bowl.
Yep. Brought the wife. They got North Carolina tonight, and then they're headed back. So long day tomorrow, back hitting the ground, Iron Bowl trip, got to travel on Friday.
How long
That's
could
a big
Auburn
week.
be there? I mean, is tomorrow the last day no matter what?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my understanding anyway.
Yeah,
Heck, I don't know. I don't know. I probably should, but I don't.
I was thinking, man, if he's out there till Thursday, that could be a tough turnaround, but he can do it.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Gern, what do you say we get that wheel up? Because I know that Victorland 777 topic wheel is loaded today. It is loaded with some topics that we certainly want to bring up today on the program and get it going as we await Brian Matthews to join us here on our City of Montgomery guest hotline.
All right.
I think Chris the Bammer's been chomping at the bit for the wheel to be spun. So what do you say?
Let's do it.
All right, spin that thing, Gern, and let's see where it lands. The Victorland 777 topic wheel, and it's going to be on Hardwood. We've touched on it a little bit. Auburn, after their big win last night, last night was huge against Iowa State. They're playing again tonight. they're playing again, as is Alabama playing out in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Bama plays Houston tonight, 7. I love it when John loves the word hardwood.
Love
I
it.
don't know why. Yeah. It's the hardwood. Alabama and Houston tonight, 7 o'clock on TBS. Don't worry, just it conflicts with the college football selection show, but you ain't got to worry about that.
Why TBS?
I don't know. As a matter of fact, they play tomorrow night. Alabama does in that deal in Vegas against Rutgers at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, and that's on. Is the whole thing going to be on TBS? The next 2 nights, anyway. Alabama's going to preempt whatever you normally watch on TBS because they're going to be playing basketball there. So,
yep.
Auburn, a winner yesterday over Iowa State, 83-81. Auburn will play tonight at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Oh, 10 o'clock.
Which is
against North Carolina. That's on ESPN. We live in a world now where North Carolina's number 12 in the country. The Tar Heels are 4-1. They take on Auburn, and Auburn's a 3.5-point favorite.
There you have it.
That's the world we live in. On Wednesday, as we mentioned, Alabama plays on third, and Troy plays on Friday. So we got a lot of basketball going on for sure on the hardwood.
What about Troy? What about Troy's basketball?
Yep, Troy plays on Friday. Actually, it's a busy weekend for me after Thanksgiving. I'm working like crazy. Troy played last night and won it. They beat Texas San Antonio last night by 14. They play again on Friday. Troy football plays on Saturday afternoon. Troy basketball plays on Sunday at 2 o'clock against Eastern Kentucky. So it's a busy week on the hardwood. Yes.
I got the hardwood schedule laid out for us there. Let's check in and spin that Victoryland 777 topic wheel yet again and see what comes up. Because I know we're going to probably have to be doing this into the next hour as well, which is fine. We're just going to give you a little taste of what we got going on. And we're talking about the Trojans. Barry, we talked about Troy's basketball, but Troy, don't take this the wrong way. Troy is a 17-point favorite against Southern Miss.
Yeah, Troy is right now. They are 3-8. Got a chance to go to 4-8.
Yeah.
To finish out the year. Southern Miss is 1-10. They fired their coach about 3 weeks ago. They got boat raced last week. It doesn't surprise me it's that big. It's a 1 o'clock start time on Saturday against Southern Miss. Final game of the year. It's the Vet. It's senior day. It's Judy Morgan Day at the Vet. The Troy athletic department, receptionist, hostess, all that kind of stuff. Fanapalooza. $2 beer specials.
Whoa.
Out there. And of course, you can get Bud Light. They've got, of course, it'll be hopping at the Michelob Ultra tailgate area as well, and a whole lot as well. So there's that.
And
on
what time's
Saturday.
the game kick?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Yes. They're trying to get it around the to get off of the Iron Bowl window.
So
as always.
17.5-point favorite. That's an interesting number.
Yeah, and Troy's been playing so much better lately. It's a chance for them to finish out the year with a great deal of momentum heading into National Signing Day in 2 weeks, and the transfer portal after that. And Coach Parker and the staff right now has the number 1 or number 2 recruiting class in the Sun Belt, depending on who you pay attention to. So a real chance at momentum.
Yeah, I like that. That's very, very important. So, Troy got a lot going on, even though it is Iron Bowl Saturday, trying to get that win to wrap up the regular season against the Golden Eagles. Was it just a scheduling deal? I mean, is Southern Miss the kind of team that Auburn, Troy always ends the season with?
No, there's not. Southern Miss is only in their second year, or third year in Sun Belt Conference. It's a great rivalry. We've played them before a lot. Similar, towns, similar programs.
Yep.
Love football, love sports, and follow it really well. So I wouldn't mind it if they close the year every year with them, but it's just a scheduling thing.
All right, let me ask you this. Personal preference.
Sure.
If you were scheduling for Troy, what about scheduling South Alabama the last game of the year?
I'd love it. It's always in the middle of the year, which I think, we could squeeze more out of that rivalry, but it's always on a weeknight, which, I don't love, to be honest. It was on a weeknight in Mobile this year. I just think you could get a lot more out of it if it's the end of the year, like rivalry week this weekend. And it's actually this weekend. It's not on a Thursday or something like that.
Yeah.
I like it better that way, but unfortunately the television networks do not.
Yeah, I get it. I'm with you too. I think it could really enhance that rivalry, make a big weekend out of it, end of the year. I don't know. Maybe it'll happen. I'm with you. Tuesday night against your in-state rival, Wednesday whenever they do it. I believe it was on a Thursday night the last time it was in Troy, because I was there and it was cold. It was cold that night. So it was in November when that.
And I think it was the first time that Troy had beaten South Alabama with Longshore in attendance, because Neil Brown still's looking darts at John for that time when they just came off the win over LSU. John wasn't there the whole game, but they lay an egg the next week against South Alabama, and Neil said he ain't never going to have John back.
I can remember Troy coming out onto the field. It wasn't to start the game. I think it was during some warm-up periods, because we were actually doing a live shot from Troy on TV that night before the game kicked. So it was, 30 minutes or so before kick, which was way too early for me to be inside the stadium. But under the circumstances, I agreed to do it.
Well, let me ask you about this real quick. Two questions. I know we're late for a break from our chat line here. By the way, you can get Troy tickets online, TroyTrojans.com/tickets. There's going to be a few for that game. Brian Cannon says, well, first of all, no. LSU Mark asked this question. Pressing question, John. You ready?
Yep.
Phantom tomorrow or Friday?
Friday.
Okay.
Friday.
All right.
Yeah, I know
people want to know. They don't want to miss it.
But I've looked at the Thursday card. Nothing's jumping off the page. Okay. So Friday. Right. Phantom will be Friday. Dreamland pick threes. You need to have those in, of course, throughout the week or before your first game kicks off on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, or Monday. You got to have more than one game. You can't just do the Monday game, but you know what I mean. So get them in. $50 Dreamland gift card.
And Brian asked this. He said, saw an article that Bama has received $400,000 this year due to opposing teams' fans rushing the field after beating Bama. When was the last time a team stormed the field after beating Auburn? See, I didn't know.
And a matter of fact, Barry, he's read that at Yellowhammer News, because I saw that article yesterday at yellowhammernews.com. But that's a good point.
I thought the money goes to the conference, and the conference
has got to write a check to Texas A&M.
I just thought they had to write it to the conference, and the conference divided it up. Heck, if I'm Alabama, instead of being outraged that people are storming the field about beating us, I'd say, hey, you security guards, kind of take another look. Anyway, I didn't your story. I didn't finish. You didn't finish your story from
but that was at yellowhammernews.com yesterday. I read that. Yeah, the Alabama's received $400,000 in field storming. We're down there on the field at Troy. We're doing our thing, getting ready to go. And Neil walks by. I mean, he looks at me. He's kind of looking as he walks. He's kind of going, "Are you really here?" He didn't say it, but he just had that look on his face. And I went, "Yeah, I'm here." And
afterwards, former Troy coach Neil Brown, now at West Virginia. A couple of weeks later, we had him on the show. And he did not miss the opportunity to give John a lot of grief about that.
I didn't. So, I guess statute of limitations ran out, and I got to come back and Troy won. So it was great.
I guarantee you he still remembers that. Let's take a break. Back in a moment. Coming up, we do have Travis Ryer on YouTube.
We're going to find Brian eventually. Hopefully he can join us sometime before we head out today.
Well, maybe Travis can find some answers to what happened in Norman. That's coming up in association with Yellowhammer News. It's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Hey, this is Barry McKnight from Longshore and McKnight, telling you about our friends at River Region Straw. You're not buying sticks or stems and pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River region, full of color, that'll last all season long. They've got locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small. From a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load, River Region Straw also has seasoned firewood for the cold days and nights ahead. Pickup is available, and your order can be delivered if you like. They can even spread your pine straw if that's what you want to have happen, for sure. Call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw and firewood needs at River Region Straw.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316. Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry is an Alabama-based, family-owned and operated business that specializes in dry cleaning and laundry, serving the River region since 1941. There are 12 convenient locations across the River region. Find one close to you or call 481-1911 for free pickup and delivery. For 83 years, Central Alabama has trusted Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry. You should too.
All right, welcome back in. Getting close to the top of the hour. Travis Ryer, Bama, Talking Tide. Ryer on YouTube will join us here in a couple of moments. Still going to try to round up Brian Matthews as well from auburnsports.com. Brian, you know me too well. Yes, there was a parking pass involved with my visit to Troy. Actually, every time I've gone down there, they've been very nice about providing a parking pass for me.
Otherwise, it ain't happening. So, quick thing about this. Alabama, as we mentioned, plays tonight against Houston at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas.
I've seen a concert in that arena before. I saw Sting and Annie Lennox.
You told me about that concert. Annie Lennox was incredible, right?
I was blown away. I mean, her pipes, her voice. There was some slow song she did. I'll never forget. It was something. No more I love yous.
No more I love yous. Yeah, that was it.
The whole place is going, is she really singing that? Or is that on audio tape? It was
Big
amazing.
Yeah.
Sting was really good too, back when he was doing some solo stuff. I guess he's
that
still
guy who was with her with the red beard in the Eurythmics. He was like Andrew Ridgeley from Wham. You know, I mean, who was that guy? I mean, she carried him. It's like Cher with Sonny or something.
Yeah, they were married actually when they were part of the Eurythmics before she went out on her own. So maybe Brian Matthews could do that on his musings. One week he could do something about the Eurythmics and Annie Lennox. But it's a big arena there at the MGM Grand Hotel.
MGM Grand Garden Arena. This tournament they're in, I forget what they call it. It's the first of its kind where 8 teams, let's see, Alabama, Houston, Texas A&M, Creighton, San Diego State, Oregon, Rutgers, Notre Dame, are playing 12 total games between today and Saturday, and there will be a total of $9 million in NIL opportunities. It's the first tournament where, hey, we're going to pay the players. Now, still, wink, wink, the NCAA bars pay for play. You're not supposed to be paid for actually playing. It's supposed to be for NIL opportunities or whatever. Now, they get by it in kind of a convoluted way because, again, NIL and pay for play, nobody really knows where it starts and where it ends. Every participating school gets $1 million worth of NIL opportunities, which players can earn through various activities outside of competition, signings, and public appearances. An additional $1 million worth of opportunities will be available to players from across all 8 schools that will combine together. Now, the presenting sponsors, Starbucks, MGM Resorts, Eli Lilly, will pay the tournament organizers all the money.
Yep.
And the tournament organizers will give it to each school's NIL collective. And then it's up to the coach to decide how much each player receives. So they want to eventually expand to 18 teams, add a women's tournament, and apply this to other sports. In all, it's called the Players Era Festival. They want to distribute more than $50 million in NIL opportunities over the next 3 years. Props to Nate Oates, because he's getting in on the ground floor of this with his team. And you don't think players are looking at that and saying, hey, now, Alabama, I can go to Alabama and I can go to Vegas and I can take advantage of all of this NIL money?
Now,
sign me up.
I hope there was a little tutorial, Barry, about you guys don't blow all that money in the casinos while we're out here. I'm sure there's probably some curfew of how late they can stay out and whatnot. But, it's a great opportunity for these players, and looking forward to see how they perform on the floor tonight against Houston. Hey, joining us now on our City of Montgomery guest hotline is our man Travis Ryer. Ryer on YouTube, Talking Tide. Travis, good morning. How you doing today?
I am great. How are you guys?
We're doing really well. We are wanting answers. What the heck, Travis? 24-3, the loss I can handle. I mean, it's Oklahoma. But the nature of that things, to whose feet do you lay all this upon?
Yeah, at this point, you might as well just shake a magic 8-ball, Barry, and see what it tells you about this team. I mean, the road has not been kind, I guess, is the one thing I can go back to. You look at each of the 3 losses, they've all come on the road. Alabama, you could throw Wisconsin in there as a road W, and certainly LSU, but you're still 2-3 on the road, and it's inexplicable, really, the only way to describe what we saw Saturday night. Not because of the result, win or lose, but as you alluded to, just from the opening snap, just didn't appear to have much of a clue about what it wanted to do, what it was trying to do. If it did, the execution wasn't up to snuff, and really just the physicality that you need to be able to play with in the month of November especially. That was a soft performance, physically, mentally, and I really don't spare much of anyone when it comes to where you place the blame. You can start with Kalen DeBoer, you can start with the coordinators, you can work it right on down through that roster, and also in some instances the leadership that you lean on in that roster didn't step forward in a tough spot either.
You know, Travis, we talked about this yesterday. You kind of got the feel of how this game was going to play out in the first 5 or 6 plays. I mean, you got a missed block by the tight end. You got a couple of drop passes. You got a wide open lane for Milroe to run through. Plants his foot. He picks up a first down, moves the sticks, picks up about 10, 15 yards. He elects to string it out east-west, gets a 2-yard loss, and you're thinking, this is not starting out how they need to on the road.
It did not. And look, give Oklahoma credit. Obviously did its due diligence and prepared well, used that bye week. But look, it's not like Alabama was coming off a road trip to Austin or Athens. So miss me with the bye week thing for Oklahoma, right? You're coming off Mercer. So that just will not fly in this particular instance. But you're right. First play of the game defensively, Oklahoma hit you with a chunk run, and it looked like Alabama had no clue that maybe quarterback runs were going to be coming. I talked about this on Aftermath after the game Saturday night and in the days since. Oklahoma had put that on tape. That wasn't new. Maybe formationally they did some different things to get to it. But once Jackson Arnold went back into the starting lineup against Ole Miss, they ran the quarterback against Ole Miss in the first half. So, again, it's not a new wrinkle. Jackson Arnold in design quarterback runs is not a new wrinkle. And then to top it off, you get gashed by the back, too. So I know a lot of this is going back to the Alabama offense, and understandably so. That was abhorrent, that performance. But you give up 200-plus rushing yards in the first half, you're getting controlled by the other team's offense, too. And that pretty much, I mean, this was an Oklahoma offense, one of the very worst in the SEC. So you can look at it, final stats, and say, well, it was over 200 rushing yards in the first half. Oklahoma came into that game averaging 96 rushing yards per SEC game, and Alabama gave up 200-plus. So it wasn't just Jalen. It wasn't just the offense. The defense wasn't good. It was a total failure.
What is the significance of the injury to Deontay Lawson in a football sense?
Well, yeah, from a football perspective, he's kind of like the central nervous system of that defense, because you count on him as your green dot to make sure you're lined up. And so that's certainly problematic. I think something that probably hadn't been talked about is losing Deontay doesn't impact you just at one position. I think it impacts you at two, because with Deontay in there, you could come in with Justin Jefferson and move Jihad Campbell around. I don't know if you can do that as much now. You know, if you've got Justin Jefferson in there full time, does Jihad have to stay kind of at that weak side position? You can't move him up to the edge. You know, his versatility may take a hit. Unless you feel really confident about, you know, an Alexander or Okoronkwo or one of those guys coming in to play with Justin Jefferson, and then you move Jihad Campbell, I don't know if that'll be the case. I'd be frankly surprised if it is. So it's big. It impacts you in terms of intangibly, certainly what he brought to the table as just a player. And again, multiple aspects of that defense, I think, are impacted because of his absence.
I got two questions. I'm going to ask them together. They're both stupid questions, but I just want to get it on the record here. Alabama's out of the playoff, right? And they could lose to Auburn?
Well, it sounds like Auburn definitely thinks Alabama could lose to Auburn. Which, hey, I don't blame them. But it's also kind of, it takes me back to Nick Saban not allowing freshmen to talk to the media. When Plexico Burress all those years ago at Michigan State said going into the big house would be like taking candy from a baby, and then State got hammered, and that was the end of that. We never heard from freshmen or really even young players after that. But that being said, I get the confidence from the Auburn perspective. You've won a couple of games, and as much as anything, what Alabama put on tape Saturday night, you're thinking, you know what? We can do that too. You know, we can run a quarterback that isn't exactly Michael Vick, but we can run Peyton Thorne. You know, we've got a back in Jarquez Hunter that can do what a true freshman did to the Alabama defense last week. You know, offensive line, you know, not exactly Willie Anderson or anybody like that for the Tigers these days, but this was one of the worst Oklahoma offensive lines in recent years. So, you know, if you're Auburn, I get it. You know, you're looking at this as, boy, this is the opportunity to correct a lot of what's gone wrong in Tuscaloosa, because the games haven't been close in Tuscaloosa. You know, the games at Auburn have had all the thrills and spills and, you know, all those historic finishes. But other than 2010, and even that game was an Alabama blowout until it wasn't, Alabama's won those games at Bryant-Denny pretty handily.
So the fans tonight can leapfrog the college football playoff selection show and watch Bama Houston with a clear conscience?
I think the selection show tonight is just going to piss off Alabama fans even more, because they're going to be 9-3 and probably sitting at 13.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just going to just beat Vanderbilt on the road. Or, you know, you've lost to 2 5-loss teams, and you're still right on the outside looking in. You know, and it's going to take some adjusting to, I think, for everybody, because when it was 2 teams, you knew you were definitely out. With 2 losses, with 4 teams, you figured 2 was going to put you out. Now with 3, you're going to be, again, I think, even more frustrated, you know, if you don't make it, because you're probably going to fall just outside of the selection order, and you know, you're probably going to Orlando in that case.
Travis, after Jalen Milroe's 3rd interception and his pitiful effort of trying to tackle the Oklahoma defender, should Kalen DeBoer have inserted Ty Simpson into the game?
Yeah, that in soccer, that tackle attempt wouldn't even have drawn a yellow card. But I do think Kalen in that instance would have been justified in pulling the red card for Jalen. That was grounds for like automatic DQ, that attempt, especially when you had the C on your jersey.
Right.
You're not just the starting quarterback. And it goes back to me again. I said this earlier in the year when you had the situation with Malachi against Vanderbilt that wasn't good at the end of the game. Just more confirmation for me to go back to what Alabama has done in the past and wait until after the season to do the permanent captain status thing. You know, don't do that before the season because things happen, as we know. That to me, if Kalen at that point said, you know, we're going to get Ty a series here. Maybe you don't keep him in for the rest of the game, but he's getting a series because it seems like Jalen needs a chance to kind of come to grips with some things. But, you know, also in a game, I'm not sure coaches always see some of that stuff down on the field level. You know, I know they've got eyes in the sky. Maybe it's you know, it's communicated, but we did hear from a couple of different coaches yesterday that they weren't happy with it. And so it sounds like it has been addressed, but you know, again, Jalen, as much as anybody, will be interesting to see what we get from him just in terms of psyche and mindset. Physically, I think Alabama, other than Deontay, which is big, should be in pretty good shape. But this is more of a mindset psyche game for Kalen DeBoer and his first team.
Do you think that there's a likelihood that Jalen will move on at the conclusion of this year?
My mindset with Jalen, and I don't have any information on this, I just kind of went into this season thinking this would be it one way or the other for Jalen, more so because of the NFL draft. And, boy, after the Georgia game, you know, we had Mel Kiper Jr. telling us that he was probably the number 1 quarterback on the board at that point. And now, you know, that's probably not the case. And I still think that will happen. I think, you know, more so it's likely that he'll go ahead and, you know, take his shot at the NFL draft, and he'll be drafted. I mean, people who think Jalen Milroe now is an undrafted free agent, nope. You know, that new quarterback smell, it gets these franchises and these organizations. So I would be surprised if he came back. I don't have any information that says that will or won't be the case. I've just taken the approach throughout this season, going into the season, that this would probably be it for him.
You know, Travis, I think the next 2 to 3 weeks are going to be really, really important for Alabama football and Kalen DeBoer in particular. Obviously, the Iron Bowl is this Saturday. Then you got signing day. You got transfers. You got opt-outs. You got possible staff changes. A lot's going to be going on, and he needs to be on the right side of all of it.
He does. And, you know, I don't necessarily think it's a situation where you have to look at a cleaning of house in terms of coordinators and coaching staff. But he absolutely needs to kind of make sure the table is set after a year that he wants it moving forward. You know, you've got to be proactive. I even now look, you lose Saturday, that ramps things up. There's no doubt about it. But in terms of, you know, how much time he's going to have at Alabama, I don't think we're even close to that yet.
Yeah.
What I would say is, if you feel strongly about a situation or two right now, go ahead and address it now. Don't wait until after next year, or assume that you can do it in 2 years from now. If you already have the data and sort of the sample size you need for an area or two of your football team, whether it's on the field people, whether it's anything, I would encourage you to go ahead and make that move or two now, because I've seen coaches. I saw Mike Shula after 2005, won 10 games, everything's great, sat on everything. And then a year later, he's gone. This isn't to compare Kalen to Mike, not yet anyway, but the urgency I still think needs to be there if you know something isn't up to the standard or what you need it to be.
Quick thought here in closing. Alabama men's basketball in Vegas, Houston tonight, and then Rutgers. This is kind of a cool setup for a tournament, something I think we'll see a lot more with all of the NIL stuff. Give us an appraisal of Alabama in Vegas this week.
Yeah, it's a very interesting trip, and, it's going to be a game of styles, you anticipate, with Houston tonight, because Kelvin Sampson teams, they love a good rock fight. Alabama, we know, wants to get out and run and push it. They've had some pretty memorable matchups already in the last couple of years, so it's a game that top 10 matchup, folks are anticipating it. We know Houston has already faced a SEC team from the state of Alabama. That didn't go so well for the Cougars, so game of styles, and just it is a fascinating event. It is unprecedented. It is kind of what we're moving into with college athletics, and for Nate, it's certainly it's kind of a recruiting plum that you can put out there if you're a part of these type of events on an annual basis. It's not going to hurt your payroll, I guess you could say, when you're recruiting.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It's a great event. Looking forward to it tonight as well, and then continuing on with it. Saturday, it goes without saying. First-year coaches, I think Dennis Franchione, I believe Travis might be the only coach in Alabama football history, I guess in the modern era, that beat Auburn in his first year.
It always feels like a lot of those games have been on the road, those first Iron Bowls. I think, that was the case with Dubose in 97 when you had the Jared Holmes field goal after the Sissom fumble on the Plains, and, Fran winning down there in 2001. But, yeah, it's not easy. Saban lost down there in his first year. I think Mike did. Or Mike might have been at home. I'm not sure, but it's important. It's important for Kalen, because if you don't win the first one when you've got it at home, you're looking at losing 2 straight when you got to go to Auburn.
That's a great point. Yeah,
so
really good point.
You really need to hold serve in year one if you can, because definitely I don't think it will be easier next year. Who knows?
Yeah. All right, I got to tell you, I was a little surprised. You go with the tomato slice on the chicken salad sandwich?
I know. I'm not a big tomato on the sandwich guy, but yeah, we did the latest chicken salad sandwich review. Golf course chicken salad sandwich review. It's important. I don't really do them anywhere else other than golf courses. And I like a fresh ripe tomato. If the tomato isn't right, it'll come off. It's subject to move.
Yeah,
it won't stay on there. Mm-hmm. But the onion's going to go on there. We're at the Plantation Club in prestigious Ponte Vedra, as they say, Ponte Vedra Beach, and you better put the beach on the end of it at the Plantation.
I have
not
found
just
that
Ponte
out.
Vedra.
Yeah,
Ponte Vedra Beach.
Yes.
And so, the chicken salad was good there. No grapes. No almonds, no pecans, just your kind of grandma recipe. That's all we're looking for. That's all we want.
That's all you want.
Don't make it so sophisticated. We've got 31 flavors of chicken salad now at some places. You go in these places, they got 31 chicken salads in there. I just need grandmas. That's all I need.
Right. Jalapenos, give me a break. Yeah,
Get it.
there's a lot of things people do on golf courses and nowhere else, Travis, to be honest with you. Yeah.
You got to have a good hot dog, a good at the turn hot dog, and you got to have good chicken salad.
Yeah,
if you're
must.
gonna have a golf course, that's the only two things you got to have, but you got to have them.
America was built on this. That is
right.
true. Yes.
All right, Travis, let our listeners know how they can follow you. Obviously, a Ryer on YouTube, but you got so much going on. Let them know all about it.
Yeah, on X or Twitter, you can find me at Travis Ryer, TravisReier. And right there on YouTube, Ryer on YouTube, we've got SEC shows, we got Bama shows, we got some NFL, and yes, we have some chicken salad.
Yes.
Yeah, you do. Hey, have a great Thanksgiving, Travis.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We'll talk next week.
Might have some turkey salad. Who knows? Maybe we'll get crazy.
Might have to get a report.
There
you go.
All right. Have a great holiday, guys. See you soon.
Happy Thanksgiving, Travis Ryer. Ryer on YouTube appears on the program here. Time to take a break. In association with Yellowhammer News, he's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Heads or tails, kick or receive, with the wind or against the wind. Buy your friend a Bud Light. Buy a stranger a Bud Light. Go to your team's bar. Go to the opposing team's bar. Buy around during the next truck commercial. Buy around during the next talking duck commercial. If you're truly up for whatever this weekend, grab the perfect beer for whatever happens. Crisp, refreshing Bud Light. Make two plans and let the NFL coin toss make the call. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the trail, Campion Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speed associated with our installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Both locations offer fully stocked pro shops with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com. Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air has teamed up for the 4th year with the Food Bank of East Alabama and Montgomery Area Food Bank in an effort to reduce the high percentage of food insecurity within the Montgomery and Auburn communities. For every new Dixie Cares Plan membership that is purchased, Dixie will be donating 7 meals to partnered food banks. Last year alone, Dixie donated 13,356 meals. Our goal for 2024 is 15,000. Thank you for choosing Dixie and for helping us make a difference within our community.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. About 22 minutes past the hour. I just got in touch with Brian Matthews. He's going to try to join us via audio only today, which is no problem. We can do that as well. So we'll get Gurn Jr. and Brian hooked up on that to get an update on the Auburn Tigers. Great stuff from Travis Ryer, as always, on the program. We appreciate his involvement. I think that the question you asked him, Barry, about Deontay Lawson is huge.
And it's not just production. It's not just numbers of tackles. That guy, as Travis calls him, he's the green dot. He's the guy who's got the thing on the back. It was, it was a lot like one of the reasons why Antonio McLean was such a great linebacker. Is he got everybody squared away in the back, Toa, those guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh, and especially with a young defense like that has made some mistakes schematically and structurally and everything. losing him is it makes everybody around there a little bit less.
It really does. You kind of wonder about, who fills in for that spot. I mean, you just can't, it's kind of hard to just, okay, next man up, which is the case. But from experience and from, an athletic standpoint, there's going to be a little drop-off. There's no doubt. And I'm sure Auburn will try to capitalize on that. And as Travis said, I mean, Auburn's feeling good about themselves. They put 2 wins together. A big win against an SEC opponent last Saturday night. They see Alabama kind of stumbling, a little injured, so to speak, and can certainly take advantage of it. Yeah. And I thought another great point. I mean, if Kalen DeBoer loses Saturday and he's got to go to Auburn next year, good luck.
Yep. I'm surprised I don't do this more often. Yeah, I'm talking about Rolando McClain. Antonio McClain was a player for Troy. Once in a great while,
it happens.
I'll go with the Troy reference, but you're right. Appreciate you very much. The Victoryland 777 topic wheel. We'll wait for just a little while. We've still got a few, but we've got a little time left to get there, but we have got to catch up on what is shaping up, John, to be quite the memorable week for Auburn athletics this week so far.
Yeah, you better believe it. Our man Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com, joining us here this morning. Hey, Brian, thanks for joining us today. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing great. I had to get my beauty sleep, guys. Sorry I'm so late.
No.
Hey, that basketball ran a little late. I hear you, my man.
Yeah, it did. It's my fault on that. But it was a heck of a game last night. And then I stayed up and watched North Carolina do basically the same thing that Auburn did to Iowa State. I think they came back from 20-something down. So it should be a fun matchup late again tomorrow night between the two teams.
Heck, UConn was down like 12 or 14 in the second half to Memphis and got it to overtime. That's it's been that kind of a tournament out there in Maui. The individual star of that Auburn win was Janai Broome. Everybody could see that, a double-double against a really good team.
Yeah.
But other than that, what struck you about team-wise about this Auburn team, besides the fact that they just absolutely seem so tough-minded, Brian?
Well, I thought Chad Baker-Mazara, he got injured, only played 6 minutes, scored 2 points in the first half. They weren't sure if he was going to come back, and then he comes back in the second, scored 16 points, made several three-pointers, was a big part of that run that Auburn made to get back in this game. So I thought he was so key. He's always a really good defensive player, too, for Auburn, important in that. But I thought his second half was huge for Auburn to get back. And, I think Auburn also did a great job, not turning the ball over in the second half like they did in the first. They were terrific going to the offensive glass. Janai Broome was a big part of that, of course. I forget what the number was, but it was something like second half points was something like 14-2 or something close to that. So that was really, really big, I thought, for Auburn to come back. And then, both teams shot free throws really, really well. I think both teams were close to 90%, and that's not something that Auburn usually does quite that well. But they shot really good from the line down the stretch, which allowed them to have that chance to win it there at the end.
The comeback is what really impressed me so much. I mean, you're down big, double digits on the road, long way from home. But, hey, didn't seem to rattle that team. Some great halftime adjustments, and were able to come back and get the win. I think that's going to go a long way throughout this season, knowing they were able to do that.
Yeah, and knowing they've beaten 2 top 5 teams now, both in neutral areas, but arenas, but a really big start. Nobody necessarily remembers when you're talking about a basketball program. It's what happens in March, right? February, March, but still, this is a great way for Auburn to start this season. These wins are going to pay dividends in March when it comes to seeding, for sure. And I think this team is going to continue to build their confidence. You can see last night with their, ability to come back from that 18-point deficit. This team believes in itself. But when they keep doing things like this is going to build even more confidence when they get in those situations again.
Well, switching lanes here, other than the win last week against ULM, has Auburn had a normal victory this year in football at all? Has there? Does every game have to be like that, Brian? Oh.
I mean, if you're Auburn, you would love if the game was like that in Tuscaloosa, right? Because that means you got a chance to win. Yeah. And I know that Alabama's coming off a really tough game in a lot of ways, I feel like, and Auburn probably feels confident. But Alabama is also a different team at home if you look at their entire season. And Auburn's, has struggled on the road, obviously, too. So, I don't think that, I don't necessarily believe that Auburn's going to win, but I do think they've got a real chance, if some things go their way, to maybe make a game of it, maybe pull off what would be an unbelievable upset.
Yeah, I think Auburn can win too, Brian. I just think there's so many issues with this Alabama team. They were exposed Saturday night in Norman. I think they were exposed in Knoxville and in Nashville as well. Some of their wins, I'm not sure the win against LSU is that great since we've seen what's happened to them. Missouri was certainly not at full strength when they played Alabama. So I don't know. We'll see. But I think it's going to be a heck of a matchup. And, of course, Auburn coming in after that big win, big momentum, getting that win against a conference team. I thought Peyton Thorne and Jarquez Hunter played extremely well in that contest. So I'm thinking confidence is high with this Tiger team.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And, I think when you get over the hump, which you feel like Auburn kind of did these last 2 weeks, especially with the way they came back and won a game that they haven't won all season, I think that does inject some confidence in a program. And I think Auburn needed that badly. So I think they're going to feel that way going into Tuscaloosa. Not sure they can perform as well as they need to win there. Haven't won since 2010, the comeback, right? But you never know. I do give Auburn sort of a puncher's chance here. I certainly do. And I'm excited about that. And, Auburn has done a really good job of staying in games and making them competitive. Yeah. I think the Georgia game on the road was the one where they kind of pulled away there in the third quarter. Other than that, Auburn's been in most games. And if they can be in this game against Alabama, at least they have the confidence knowing they're capable of winning one of those games late now.
Well, you may not be sure about whether Auburn can go into Tuscaloosa and win, but DeMarcus Riddick and Cam Coleman are.
Yeah, that was interesting. Freshman, maybe Auburn shouldn't put out true freshmen before the Iron Week, So I look at this a couple of different ways. Number one, it's good to see these freshmen are confident in themselves. And DeMarcus Riddick, even if everybody hates him out there that wears red in the state, he's a really good player, and he's going to be a very, very, very good player. He's going to play on Sundays eventually. But, you look at where Alabama was 24 hours ago, probably pretty down on themselves. Maybe some infighting. Maybe I'm just putting my own outside view on it, right? But, maybe not feeling very confident because they think they might be out of the playoff race, although I'm not sure if that's true or not. We'll see. But now they've got something to focus on a little bit more. Get them more fired up. So
after that performance Saturday night, I hope there's been some infighting. Maybe even on the plane back from Norman, there was a fight. I mean, they need it bad.
Well, I almost posted after the first half of the Auburn basketball game that this is what happens when the team gets soft. They should have had a brawl on the plane if they're going to come over and play like that.
No doubt. I'm with you. Somebody's got to, lay the law down.
That's right. But yeah, that was unfortunate. Sometimes those things mean things, other times they don't. So he'll have a lot to back up on the field come Saturday afternoon.
Well, I'm telling you this again, going back to the Texas A&M game. I'm not telling you anything, but you get Jarquez running for over 100, Thorne throwing for 300, Coleman and Keandre Lambert-Smith both over 100 yards receiving. That's a really good day for the offense. I'm positive it doesn't happen on Saturday, but I think what Jarquez is able to do has really kind of opened things up, especially for Cam Coleman, don't you think?
I do, and Alabama is still 12th in the SEC in rush defense. So I think that to me has always been the opportunity for Auburn. I'm sure Alabama will knows that too and knows what Auburn's going to try to do, and will make adjustments defensively to try to stop that. But when they do make those adjustments, that does open up things for Cam. and Keandre Lambert-Smith in that passing game. So those are some areas where I see, okay, run the ball. You're going on the road against a ranked opponent, run the ball, make some plays on special teams, get to the fourth quarter, give yourself a chance to win. So I think Auburn can do that, and perhaps they will. I just don't know if they can pull it out or not. But at least they'll have the confidence that they pulled it out at least once this season. But yes, if you're Auburn, you got to ride number 27 for as much as you can, as much of those 60 minutes as you can, in Tuscaloosa.
Brian, as always, man, we appreciate your time. I know it's a lot going on and games are at weird times of the day, and we appreciate you carving out some for us. Let our listeners and viewers know how they can follow you and catch up with everything going on with Auburn Athletics.
I appreciate that, and want to encourage everybody out there to give Uncle Keith's red sauce a try. It would be delicious to have on your plate or maybe as a snack as you waiting for that turkey to get done tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and we'll have tons of coverage of basketball in the Iron Bowl, auburnsports.com. You can follow me on social medias at BMATAU.
Awesome stuff, Brian. Happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Take care.
You too, buddy. Thank you so much. On our City of Montgomery guest hotline, that is Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com. Need to know what's going on in and around the capital city? It's easy. Just check it all out at montgomeryal.gov. All right, Barry, when we get back, I know we got more topics on the wheel that we're going to get to here on a Tuesday.
Longshore and McKnight. It's presented by Bud Light.
Enjoy all the food, drink, fun, and winning at Victoryland. An elevated entertainment value, the best overall casino experience, and the highest jackpot payouts makes Victoryland the place to be. Go to Victoryland.com to find out more about their incredible giveaways, daily promotions, and free play opportunities. 777 Casino, simulcast thoroughbred, and Greyhound Racing are all within a short drive from anywhere in the Southeast. Victoryland, I-85, Exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. At Victoryland, you can be a winner too.
Welcome to the holidays. They're officially here. Time for tradition, family gatherings, meals, and the annual scramble of searching for those last-minute gifts. Speaking of gifts, this season Budweiser's got your back. Head to the store right now and look for our Thanksgiving week specials. Why go all over town looking for that perfect gift when Budweiser takes care of everyone in one convenient ice-cold package? When you stock up on Budweiser with our Thanksgiving week specials, you'll have plenty to share with your friends and family. They'll all appreciate that Budweiser's brewed the hard way and has been for 140 years. We use the finest barley, malt, and hops grown in Idaho and Germany. We don't take any shortcuts when we're brewing. That's our tradition. So make the most of your holidays. Stop by your local store now for our Thanksgiving week specials. Grab enough Budweiser for yourself, your friends, and your family. It's a new holiday tradition everyone can enjoy together. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Shopping for a budget-friendly, reliable used car, or maybe a stunning new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram? Well, in Prattville, it's always a process that starts with the team of professionals from Stiver CDJR. Thanks to years of experience helping others in the local community enjoy premium service, low prices, and access to a wealth of amazing new and used cars, it's safe to say that Stiver's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is the name to beat in Prattville. But hey, just don't take my word for it. Experience the Stiver's difference for yourself. Prices that will not be beat, a huge inventory, and knowledgeable, helpful sales associates. See why so many happy car and truck buyers shop at Stiver's CDJR, where price sells cars and trucks on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville. All right, back at it here on Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy, in association with our good friends at Yellowhammer News. Check out yellowhammernews.com. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, X, all over the place. I know a lot of people were checking it out yesterday, and we greatly appreciate the views and the comments on several of the posts about Longshore and McKnight. Really appreciate that. All right, let's get to the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. I know we got a lot going on with it that we need to get to because there are a lot of things going on.
Yep, as we get it loaded up, Somebody, we're a circle of friends. We're a community here. Somebody just nudge Bob from Pike Road. Just let him know. Maybe he's got big Thanksgiving plans or something like that, and we're thankful for him and everything. Just have him check in.
I'm
Trying to get a little nervous.
Get I don't know. We'll get Straw Boy or Range Pro to check in on him, see if everything's good. All right, Gurn, see the wheel is loaded up. Let's spin that thing and see what pops up on the Victorland 777 topic wheel, and it's going to end on pressure. You know, Billy Joel had a song called Pressure.
Billy Joel wrote some great stuff. He's one of my favorite artists, but boy, he did some terrible things too.
He did some terrible things too. You know, Uptown Girl, two bubble gum for me.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible. But of course, The Stranger was his best album.
It's incredible.
Yeah, did some good stuff. Pressure, Barry. Who's got more pressure? Saturday afternoon inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. Hugh Freeze or Kalen DeBoer?
I would say DeBoer. He's at home. The fan base is willing, not extremely, but a little bit willing to maybe forgive some stuff. It's a transition from the GOAT, and all right. So, yeah, you lost to Vandy. Oh, okay, and Tennessee. Now, okay, all right. You're trying to get everything together. You're trying to establish yourself. You're recruiting well. Okay. They can't. They. It's not easy to forgive losing at home to Auburn.
Well, here's the deal. They can tell Kalen DeBoer all they want about the excitement and the energy, and they talk about it 365 days a year and all that stuff.
Right.
But until you've lived it, experienced it, played in it, coached in it, you don't know. They can tell you all day. This guy's been up in the Pacific Northwest. He's about to experience something a lot different. And if he's not ready to go mentally, if they're not the team physically not ready to go, the coaching staff not ready to go, it'll be embarrassing, and then he'll realize it, and it'll be too little too late. Hugh Freeze has been there. He knows what it's about. He knows what it's about when he was at Ole Miss. He knows what he was about when he was looking from afar and watched the Iron Bowl. He knows it. He gets it. So I'm with you. I think Kalen DeBoer is under an extreme amount of pressure. Auburn's an underdog in this game. I don't think many people thought that Auburn had a chance prior to last week, but certainly how things have changed. So I think that ramps the pressure up even more. So, yeah, DeBoer, you're under a lot of pressure this week. You better be ready.
And, things are trending towards more and more pressure. All right, we've got Auburn. Auburn looked pretty good last week. Okay, got to deal with that. We looked terrible last week. I think Alabama fans are more concerned about this game, not because Auburn looks so great, but because Alabama looks so bad.
Yeah.
And now we're without our quarterback on defense. It's
some people think they need to be without their quarterback on offense too.
You brought this up early, and I hadn't thought about that in that context, which happens a lot with John. I didn't think about it like that. The next 2 weeks are huge for Kalen DeBoer. It could turn out pretty well. It's not going to turn out great, but it could turn out disastrously over the next couple of weeks, and it starts on Saturday afternoon.
All right, let's spin the wheel yet again here, our Victorland 777 topic wheel. See what comes up next. Knocking them down. We're kind of chiseling away here as it spins around, and it's going to land on, last night, some people might not have seen this game, Barry, but the two brothers got together, the Chargers and the Ravens, on Monday Night Football from SoFi, and the Ravens were able to get that road win.
It's like the old Nerf battles in the bedroom with the little basketball with John and Will. John just can't seem to get over,
They do it.
John was always, he was like 0-89 against his big brother in the Nerf battles out there. Jim Harbaugh just can't beat his brother. Just can't do it. John Harbaugh improves to 3-0 against Jim Harbaugh. The Ravens win over the Chargers, 30-23 in Los Angeles. A lot of different things about that game. It's not a simple game, but basically it boiled down to the Ravens had Derrick Henry and the Chargers did not. Henry ran for 140 yards and a touchdown.
Can't stop that guy. He is a force. We'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow, but the NFL kicks off on Thursday with 3 games, and they also have a game on Friday. So we'll tell you more about that as we get closer to some more NFL. All right, I know we got some more topics out there. Let's spin that wheel and see what pops up again. The Victorland 777 topic wheel.
Oh, wait. One of them is not poop the bed, is it?
One of them, well, we're at top 25. Top 25.
All right.
So, Barry, top 25 matchups for the rivalry week in college football. You know, usually we have some good ones. Ohio State, Michigan's kind of a rivalry game, but it still is, but it's just not a top 25 game. You know, I'm kind of looking through South Carolina, Clemson, 2 top 25 teams going at it. That certainly could be a good game, but I don't see a lot of more on the list. With
all of this rivalry week kerfluffle, with all of this shameless pandering, it's big rivalry week. There is only one game all week that involves 2 ranked teams against each other, and it takes place in College Station, Texas.
Well, you've got that. Yeah, number 3, Texas, at number 15, Texas A&M. But earlier in the day, you've got Clemson hosting South Carolina. 17 and 18 ranked team.
That's exactly right. South Carolina playing really well. They're 8-3. Shane Beamer's done a great job. Tom Luganbill said yesterday, if you factor out Texas or whomever, the team playing the best football is South Carolina right now, which shut my mouth. He's exactly right. That'll be at Death Valley Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning. Both of the games involving ranked teams against each other are in the SEC. Bear in mind, Georgia is in the SEC championship game. It'll be either Texas or Texas A&M. Texas A&M is still alive in this deal. The winner of that game will play for the SEC championship. If Texas A&M wins the next 2, there will be a 3-loss team in the college football playoff. And not only that, a 3-loss team that'll get a first-round bye in the college football playoff.
And maybe South Carolina, Barry, that's a team that Alabama fans really haven't thought much about. That's a quality win. Might be one of the best quality wins they've had so far this season.
It was
Don't
not
forget
easy.
about the Gamecocks.
Yep, that's true.
All right, so let's spin it yet again and see what else pops up on the Victorland 777 topic wheel on this Tuesday. 2 left. We'll
look
spin
at
it and
us.
see
We're
what
ahead of schedule.
We are kind of ahead of schedule.
I
think these last 2 though we might talk about a little bit more. This one, what did he say?
No, yeah, it's got to be announced. What did he say?
What did he say?
Do you remember in A Christmas Story when Schwartz, it all began when Ralphie was trying to help his dad change the tire out in the snow, and he dropped all the lug nuts, and he said, "Oh, fudge." And of course, his mom loses her mind and says, "Where did you hear that word?" And he's thinking to himself, "Well, I heard my dad say it about 100,000 times." But he said, from Schwartz. And so she called Schwartz's mom, and Schwartz's mom says, "What? Okay. Yeah, that's
time for TNT to loop that like for a whole day or something.
Yep, it's about that time. But and she said, "What?" Anyway, he gets back into the car after dropping all the lug nuts. Guess what your son said? What did he say? It was the F -- word, you know. Oh, so anyway, you have to say it right. What did he say?
Yeah, what did he say?
Uh-huh.
I know people seem to be piling on Alabama and Kalen DeBoer, but I did hear Kalen DeBoer's press conference yesterday.
You know, that's another thing about Kalen. He's dressing better. You can, a
little bit. He's lost the muscle T-shirt. I will say that.
Yeah, he looked good in the press conference. Yeah, good job, Kalen.
But Barry, and maybe it's not fair because Saban had epic press conferences. We would always comment on him tapping the podium, which meant he was getting agitated. He was getting ticked off. He was losing it and ready to move on. He was spent too much time with the media.
That Dasani water was bouncing up and down, and you're thinking it's got to fall here. No, it didn't fall.
Got to fall. And so I know DeBoer's different. His demeanor's a little calmer. But what did you say yesterday, Kalen? You told us nothing. I did not learn one thing in that press conference except that Deontay Lawson is out for the year. That's the only thing I found out. And I know there's been this Mike Shula comparison, but I felt like I was listening to Mike Shula because I heard a bunch of stuff, but none of it was worthy. None of it meant anything. I knew all that. It was just a bunch of mush. Give me something that I can go, wow, I didn't know that. Oh, that's great information. Why are you wasting your time if you're going to have a press conference that tells us nothing? Just a bunch of generalities. At least Saban could make it interesting and make you want to listen to it. DeBoer, I have no interest at all listening to you on a Monday press conference.
Well, to be fair, number one, nobody's going to beat Saban's press conferences. And number two, DeBoer's been like that all season long. It's not as though he's been Nate Bargatze or Shecky Green or something on these things, and all of a sudden he's boring. You better get used to that. Now, Barry,
we've seen him on the sidelines getting animated and chewing out the refs.
Yeah.
Give me some of that at a press conference.
Yeah. Well, who wants to hear Kalen DeBoer try to explain that away? I'd rather hear Marianne from Marguerite, who is on her commute. The big pre-Thanksgiving blowout is coming close. Marianne, good morning. Happy Thanksgiving week. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Doing well. Things are exciting over there at Marguerite's these days, right?
Oh, they definitely are. We have our pre-Thanksgiving blowout right now. People are coming in. They're taking advantage of our amazing prices. They're getting our 5-carat total weight diamond tennis bracelet. Their wives are going to flip out when they see it. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm trying to think of what else. Gosh, we've got the baby cross. It's always a huge hit. Just you name it, we've got it at Marguerite's. Everything is a special price. So take advantage of it. Again, we have layaway until Christmas because goodness, somebody asked me how long it was going to be until Christmas. And I think it's like 4 weeks, which is insane. This year's flown by, but don't let these opportunities fly by because again, it ends just November 30th. That is it. We're cutting it off, getting ready for the Christmas season. So take advantage of those doorbusters. If we have them made up, the 1/2-carat total weight diamond studs for you for $99. Guys, you just really can't get these deals anyplace else at Mark except for Marguerite.
60% off all diamonds, 1-carat diamond rings at $4.99. You mentioned the baby diamond cross necklaces at $2.99. The tennis bracelets, so gorgeous. My wife actually saw this flyer, Marianne. She goes, "Ooh, that sure does look nice." Which, of course, is a big hint.
So nice. It really is.
That was the big hint, no doubt. Now, but as Lyle likes to say, every item in the store, crazy, wacky, blowout price.
I'm not sure those are the words that Marianne would use, but crazy, wacky, kind of fits.
Yeah, that's a Lyle. That's definitely a Lyle-ism, so to speak, but not my wording. But we do have some crazy prices. I mean, and here's a little secret. So for everybody listening, and tuning in, it's better than employee pricing. I'm not even going to lie. I've worked at Marguerite since 2008, and I've looked at a few pieces that I've had my eye on. So seriously, better than employee pricing. Lyle, if you're listening, we may need to renegotiate some of this employee pricing because I see how low you can go. He really means wacky, cuckoo, whatever else is like the Lyle wording. It really is a great deal. You hear stuff all the time where, big box stores, they'll mark up the price just to say it's lowered for Black Friday. We've all, taken that trap, gone down, different online things that start with an A and end with an on, they mark it up just to drop it down. Guys, these are our normal prices, our normal tags. We're cutting those prices. If you're thinking about proposing, 60% off of all diamonds. That's huge. Nobody else is going to do that. And these aren't like the rotten ones that look like Law calls it frozen spit. These are not frozen spit diamonds, guys. It does not look like the ice rink needs to have the Zamboni running around on it. These are beautiful diamonds, and they're 60% off.
I love it. That is great. All right, you're open 7 days a week. Of course, it'll be closed for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're gonna be closed for Thanksgiving.
But
that's pretty much it. So come on.
You're right. Till the end of the month, November the 30th, it is the the Thanksgiving blowout sale. It's going on until the 30th of this month. So head out to Marguerite's, 8163 Vaughan Road in Peppertree, open 7 days a week. Marianne, thank you so much. We're going to probably check in with you again tomorrow.
Sounds good. Hopefully you won't get me on my commute. I won't be running late, but we'll see.
No problem.
Take care, Marianne. Thank you. It's Marianne at Marguerite Exquisite Jewelry. Let's take a break. I believe we're due one.
Yeah, we are due for a break. And Barry, probably maybe the best topic of the day will be revealed when we get back.
Yeah, and Robbie from Greenville, he's on. He's saying, everybody, calm down. He talked to a former Troy classmate last night who knows a lot of Alabama fans in Birmingham where he lives. He said many Alabama fans are looking forward to the Auburn game and the bowl game. So calm down, everybody. Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air has teamed up for the 4th year with the Food Bank of East Alabama and Montgomery Area Food Bank in an effort to reduce the high percentage of food insecurity within the Montgomery and Auburn communities. For every new Dixie Cares Plan membership that is purchased, Dixie will be donating 7 meals to partnered food banks. Last year alone, Dixie donated 13,356 meals. Our goal for 2024 is 15,000. Thank you for choosing Dixie and for helping us make a difference within our community.
All righty, welcome back in, everybody. A couple of minutes to the top of the hour. One more topic on the Victoryland topic wheel. I guess we got to spin it just to make it a formality. So spin it, Gurn, and let's talk about the final topic on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel today, and it is
Poop the bed.
Now, this is a golf term.
That's a bad visualization, but okay.
It's a golf term, Barry, and basically you don't use the word poop. You use a word that Nick Saban used about something going through a tin horn, but I thought we better clean it up a little bit. It's like being on the golf course and you're even par, stepping up on the 15th tee box, and you double bogey 2 of the last 4 holes, then you pretty much poop the bed. Is what you've done there. And that's what happened to Alabama.
They don't say the word poop.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't say
clean it up for this program.
Clean it up. And that's what happened to Alabama Saturday night in Norman. They pooped the bed. And how they're going to clean it up, I really don't know. We've gone 2 days talking about this game in Norman, and I haven't heard a solution. I haven't heard anything positive. I haven't heard anything of how they're going to be able to turn this around. Have defenses figured out Jalen Milroe? I think so. And Auburn's got a pretty good defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And some pretty good young defenders as well.
Yeah, they certainly do. I don't think Auburn's disappointed with their defensive play or their defensive coaches.
Jim Massey does sheets, right?
He does.
Okay. All right.
And blankets and comforters and then the
Jim
whole
Massey.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do they clean it up? Well, Jim Massey, he has probably some ideas on how to clean up the situation at Alabama. Definitely has some ideas about how to clean up your sheets.
They can do it.
And all
But
of that.
Barry, how in the world is Alabama going to get it back right? Can they do it in a week? Is the mentality of this football team? They got to be second guessing themselves. They got to be questioning themselves. And there again, some people call it laying an egg, if you want to really be nice about it, but it was so bad, they pooped the bed in Norman.
And the thing is it's all on film now. If I'm DJ Durkin, the Auburn D coordinator, I'm looking at that. And let's be honest, it's happened before. Not to this extent, but it has happened before. So there's plenty of film to look at to say, okay, how do we handle this guy? Let's see how all of these other defenses were able to accomplish it.
And Barry, I don't think for a minute that Bama fans are confident, that they're overly excited about Saturday. They're nervous. They're concerned. And Auburn has nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. What? Bowl eligible? Okay. I'd love to win 6 games and go to some crap bowl.
If we don't go to a bowl, that means we get to go recruiting a little bit more down the
street. Which is what they're trying to do to build back that foundation. Yeah. So to me, Auburn comes in a little footloose and fancy-free, playing a little bit looser than Alabama will be. I expect Alabama to be tight in this game. And there again, if Auburn jumps on them, they're going to rely on Jalen Milroe's feet to win the game for them? Or are they going to bring in Ty Simpson or somebody else that might can move the sticks and get them in the end zone?
Well, it's an interesting phenomenon. What do we have on the docket for tomorrow? Of course, we're off on Thursday, of course.
So tomorrow, Jason Caldwell from Auburn Undercover. We'll also check in with Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, tomorrow.
Awesome.
We'll all let's see who else we got tomorrow. CJ Duncan. I knew it was somebody up. CJ
Yellowhammer News. Love that guy.
Yep, CJ's going to join us to preview Rivalry Week as well. And then we'll have more topics, more chats, and more emails.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. It's our pre-Thanksgiving blowout tomorrow. Make sure you join us. Thanks today for Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com, Travis Ryer from Ryer on Sports as well. For John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight. Presented by Yellowhammer News. It's Longshore and McKnight, brought to you by Bud Light.